Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Shyam's PM Stories. If you are in an adjacent role to a product manager, such as product marketing, testing, support, or engineering, how you should think about the product to be successful and efficient in your role. Or if you are an aspiring product manager, how you should build your understanding around the product to get into the product management. And lastly, if you are already a successful product manager getting into an existing product in the market as a new responsibility, how you should go about understanding the product. That's where becoming an historian or an archaeologist gives you a distinct advantage. Imagine you are getting into a product space where the product has already been in the market for a long time, established customer base, established usage practices. That's a lot to take on, distill clarity, and begin to make an impact. This is no different from an historian or an archaeologist who is coming into the scene where the events have already happened, things have already been established, history has already been documented, and now you're coming in here to build a story, build your own insight around what would have happened. Hence, the archaeologist, the historian, and the person entering into the product space of an existing product are all pretty much entering into the same scenario. The ultimate goal of an historian is to develop a story backed by an evidence of happening of the history in the past. His or her goal is to demystify and build a story for their audience. Similarly, the archaeologist's goal is to study the human lifestyles, the society and the cultures of the past using the physical artifacts. It could be things people used at the time. It could be the drawings, the paintings that were done. So the archaeologist is trying to relive the life of the people using the physical artifacts that he has gotten. So both of them have an outcome of producing a comprehensive, connected story of civilization and societies of the past with vast set of information to process. Along with the same lines, a person entering into product space of an existing product, it is already built, another PM has already researched the problem space and designed the system. Engineers have already written the code. It is already functioning. People are using it now. In order to take over the product space in a meaningful manner, you have to become an historian and archaeologist to effectively get into the story building mindset. I have been in at least two such occasions. One where I entered into the product space as a QA engineer of an existing product which has been in the market for multiple years. And I was responsible for building incremental features as a part of the product's journey. The second scenario was where I entered into the product space as a PM lead for a product that was already built but yet to be launched in the market. So both of these brought in different perspectives and different approaches. Let me get into a bit more details of my first scenario. So I joined Oracle as a QA engineer responsible for testing features within a specific module of Oracle's ERP suite. So in this scenario, I did two important things. One, getting your hands really dirty with the product, which is akin to excavations and artifacts collection by an archaeologist. And the second is going wild with interviewing people who are old-timers in the product. So now let's talk about getting your hands really dirty with the product. So as a QA engineer, I was responsible for testing new features every release. That required me to write test scenarios where I intentionally made it end-to-end beyond the realm of my module and defined new configuration as a forcing function to understand and use all the modules both upstream and downstream to my module of responsibility. Then I went on to understand the business logics by creating various data patterns and mapping it back to the business requirements. This was an important exercise, not typically required as a part of your regular work execution as a QA engineer. And then I extensively collaborated with upstream and downstream product teams in order to get a view of the flow from their point of view. And then I also went on a crazy spree of running every possible report across the application suite. And then I rinsed and repeated this cycle many times, and I developed a bunch of habits of using the product. I developed muscle memory of using the product. So which almost put me like a real user of the product. And then the second important thing I did was going wild about interviewing the old timers in the product. So this is one of the most underleveraged source of building your story and insight about the product. Historians get into the habit of interviewing many people about the same subject. So that gives them many versions of the same events. And this is helpful in building unique insights and connecting the dots across various discrete events. Similarly, interviewing and challenging the early team members of the current behavior of the product is a great way to enhance your understanding of the product. So this is the process that will lead you to live that product building phase. Beyond knowing the facts around the product's capabilities, you also get to know how excited people were when they first touched the problem. This injects the synthesized passion and ownership about the product, and you start to invest yourself into the idea behind the product. Often you will feel less passionate about the incremental building if you go with the mindset of adding someone else's creation. With interviewing people, you feel extremely passionate even for incremental building once you feel it's your own baby all along. So the interview process brings the emotional elements to the history of the product that won't be revealing through the hands-on use of the product. That phase of my career where I applied this principle without knowing that it was indeed a trait of an historian or an archaeologist, but I was able to develop a very deep sense of understanding of the existing product. So in summary, the ultimate goal of a product person to be successful is to be able to get deep insights about the problem space and uncover how the product was designed to solve them. In that journey, you deconstruct the business rules, the algorithms back to the requirements, get into the mindset as if you have lived through the building phase and know the product from the scratch. So this automatically puts you in front of best opportunities that the product space can offer. You will be a star performer in not only the PM role, but also in all the adjacent roles around the product management. I hope this was a useful set of tips for everyone. Thanks for supporting me all along through my earlier videos. I look forward to your continued support and feedback. Thank you so much.